years of research. First of all, let me wish happy birthday to Shah Research University and its vibrant team. Because last year I was there at Guwahati, and I could see the magnum opus of the program being conducted at 2, 3 different places. And still that memories are in the back of my mind, and always I remember them as a pleasant memories. So I'll start with my presentation. What is ethics? Ethics in a simple way is concerned with what is good for individuals and society, and is also described as a moral philosophy, which I feel. And if you see, there is an image of one hand holding the other hand. That is way the society goes with the good ethical approach and create a good atmosphere. To my mind, that is ethics. What is that? In Greek language, if you see the root cause of ethikos or ethos, meaning custom and character, and it can be reflection of do's and don'ts of behavior of an individual in the society. And to my mind, each and every academician and researchers have to follow the ethics, and they must be following, because that is what I have learned in last few years, that yes, ethics is the key. If you see, this is a banyan tree. It is a significance. Ethics does not restrict to individual and self. And if you see the tree, it spreads. The banyan tree spreads. It becomes a part of society, state, country, or world as well. So let us see how the banyan tree grows and it spreads. Not only give the shelters, but many communities pray to the banyan tree. So that is what is the ethics. It's a prayer. Ethics and value system. Before I proceed further, there are 4 to 5 P's. What are this? Purpose, objective or intention, pride, self-esteem, patience, positive thinking, persistence, behaving ethically at all time. Perspective is the facet to observe the above aspects. Now, if you see, ethics in research involves several principles. First of all, the research has to be truthful, and research methods and reporting. That is what Dr. Vijay Gadesha sir has taught us in his session. Integrity, keep agreements and promises. Openness, be open, suggestions and criticism. Confidentiality, protect confidential records. That is what is precisely touched. The data should be genuine. The data interpretation should be genuine, so that you get a proper analysis. And respect intellectual property. That is what is being told in each and every session of international conference by Eudoxia Research University. So these are the key principles I would like to share with my young researchers who are listening today. Maybe they are young or they have started. I am not a messiah or a spiritual guru, but this is what I have learned. Plagiarism. This is the most important and dangerous word in the field of research and academics. What is plagiarism? Let us try to understand. The writer has a poor time management skills. I'll tell you, when I was pursuing my MBA, I had a fellow students younger than me. They used to go to the net, download the assignments done by other, change the name, change the data, and present it for whatever the assignment was given. It was a very bad. 2, 3 of them were caught, and they were about to be expelled from the course. So this was one of the things what I have seen. People, they don't give much time. Hindi mein tawajjo bolte hain. They just go to the net, because the Google Baba is there, Google Guru is there. Chalo, take the data, put it on my name. सुखवीर सिंह जी का डाटा लेके मैं मेरे नाम पे लगा के I try and to publish something. This is not all. There is an exception that one will produce bulk work in short time. Many of the people, they have a habit, okay, I have done this in short time, but how? By just putting Control C, Control V. I'm trying to find out the person, Singh sir and Saikia sir, who has developed that algorithm, Control C, Control V. Very dangerous algorithm. The student or research fellow has dreamed to prove him or her as a better performer. There is a lack of confidence. I am not able to do, so that I'll just copy it. Nothing goes harm. And if there is no plagiarism checking system, some of the writers feel free to do unethical. And other words, plagiarism is an act of fraud, involves both stealing someone else's work and lying about it afterwards. I'll try to narrate one incident. I was attending a function and one young researcher was felicitated. The person made a statement, winners don't do different things, they do things differently, by Shiv Khera. And he passed, or he or she passed, that this is my statement. After her felicitation was over, I had to go and tell her, madam, this is not your statement. This word, the entire sentence is patented. If you read the book, he or she pretended, sir, I was not knowing. That is not on. Because nowadays words are patented, statements are patented. One has to be very careful. I'll cite an example of a famous music director from Bollywood. I won't name. He just lifted some tunes, passed it on his own. The original composer of the tune, who was a very small novice fellow, filed a writ petition in High Court citing this was patented. And court directed both of them to out of court settlement. The famous music director had to shell off lakhs of rupees to him because it was patented. And I see you all people, organizing people, are always talking about patents. So people who are doing the research paper, doing very unique research study, should start patenting so that your ideas will not be stolen. Now, some of the scenarios and facts for last 3-4 days, I was trying to understand. In the period between 2007 to 2011, there were highest plagiarism performance rates in India. I'm talking about India, not about the universe. And Scopus has come with some 350 research papers which were totally picked up from different sources and passed as original. And that is what Gadecha sir or Supinder sir or Saikya sir, you are propagating. People have to understand this. I'm not telling each and everyone does, but these are the things going on. Even your work, if patented, if not patented, you will feel the consequences. As a result, in 2015, the University Grants Commission declared mandatory in India to check PhD thesis with anti-plagiarism software. So this is there for each and every one of us. On 26 June 2016, India government decided to bring a law to resist this activity. So these laws exist and the punishments are different as per the pattern of plagiarism and the performer of the activity. So one has to be very careful. That is what I'm trying to share out of my research when I thought of sharing this subject with you. Tolerance. Now, what are the tolerance? Zero tolerance. Zero tolerance meaning core areas such as hypothesis, recommendations, the abstract, the summary, the conclusion, the results, and the observations has to be genuine, has to be very genuine, has to be very genuine. Tolerance areas. Now, what are the tolerance permitted? Plagiarism in all reason, but the core areas is tolerable to a certain extent. The various levels of plagiarism have been qualified. What I have obtained from the very genuine sources is up to 10% it is excluded. Okay, there will be similarities because you have taken some definitions as it is and cited, in their references. Between 10 to 40% it is level 1. Between 40 to 60% it is level 2, and above 60% it is level 3. So these are some tolerances permitted which I wanted to share. Now, coming over to Institutional Ethics Committee, IEC, I am happy to share for last 1 year, I have been given an opportunity to be the member of Institutional Ethics Committee of a very reputed eye chain hospital, Shankara Eye, and as a lay person, I have been inducted. So I'd like to throw some light on what is Institutional Ethics Committee doing and why each hospital, wherever there is research going on, they have to follow the mandate of Indian Council of Medical Research and have a committee to ensure that the entire research work happens in the most ethical way. They have published a guidelines which is known as National Ethical Guidelines for Biomedical and Health Research involving human participants. So wherever there are human participants, the entire research work has to be presented before the Institutional Ethics Committee. So medical profession, let me tell you, is the probable oldest one to prescribe ethical guidelines. You will be surprised to know our Ayurveda, there were guidelines published by Charak Samhita and Sushrut Samhita. They are the oldest doctors, Ayurvedic doctors, who had published these guidelines. And nowadays, with the rapid advances in the whole field of biomedical sciences, have added newer responsibilities and complex dilemmas for the medical person, both practitioner and researchers. So the council brought first policy document in 1980, then revised in 2000 and further revised in 2006, and the guidelines of 2017 are available on their website, published by Indian Council of Medical Research, falling under the aegis of Government of India. Now, what is the basic responsibility of Institutional Ethics Committee is to ensure that a competent review of all ethical aspects of project proposal received by it in an objective manner. Meaning, suppose if I have to do some research in the areas of medical field, bring in some new clinical drug or a clinical trial, first and foremost, my presentation has to be done before the Institutional Ethics Committee of a particular institution where I am enrolled, and seek a clearance. If there is any amendments to be done, has to be done before you start, because here human beings are in. What are the responsibilities? To protect the dignity, rights, and well-being of the potential research participants. There is a data confidentiality, which I would like to take that thing which was mentioned by Dr. Vijay Gadicha sir, that the data should remain very confidential to ensure that universal ethical values and international scientific standards are expressed in terms of local community values and customs. Local community values and customs have to be taken to assist in the development and the education of research community responsive to local health care and requirements. So these are the basic responsibilities. It's a very big subject. If given opportunity in one of the forums, I will express what is my understanding of Institutional Ethics Committee. Now, how is the composition? The IC should be multidisciplinary and multi-sectoral in composition. Independence and competence are two hallmarks of IEC, meaning they should not be connected with that institution. They should be independent. It is headed by a chairperson, one or two persons from basic medical science area to understand what exactly the researcher is going to do and what will be its effects on the participants. Two clinicians from various institutes, one legal expert or retired judge, one social scientist, one philosopher, and one layperson. So in this committee of Shankara Eye Hospital, New Panvel, belonging to famous Shankara, I am a layperson and one is members secretary. And for any meeting, layperson is a must because he represents the community. Review by IEC. Review each and every proposal on human participants before the research is initiated. If the risk is no risk, minimal risk, the proposal is not given to IEC. But if it is more than minimal, it is medium or high, it comes to IEC. It should ensure that a scientific evaluation has been completed before ethical review is taken up. And the committee should evaluate the possible risk to the participant with proper expected benefits, ensuring privacy and confidentiality. So in a nutshell, before the start of the research, the presentation is done, written consent is given by IEC, and after the completion of the research work with the data, again the presentation is done so that it can be implemented. In nutshell, this is what is the review, and without IEC's review, they cannot further go into clinical trials or any other trials on the patients in a mass way. Now, coming to national character. What is national character? Why national character? I will cite a beautiful scene from Mahabharata. There was a war in Kurukshetra, brothers against brothers. Bhishma Pitava was representing Kaurava's side. Lord Krishna was from Pandava's side. And in the war, entire Kauravas were killed. Bhishma Pitava was given a boon that his soul can go out of his body whenever he wishes. If you see, there are arrows which he has taken in his body, and he is lying flat on the field, watching the entire war, watching the entire destruction. When the war is over, Lord Sri Krishna brings the Pandavas to him because he is their grandfather. And Lord Krishna requests Pitama that you share your wisdom because Pandavas are going to rule this country. So he raises a question to Yudhishthira, who is head of Pandavas, that what is the biggest asset of the state? It was a powerful and loaded question from at that point of time. So each one replied, it is a army, it is a treasury, it is something, something, something. He told no, it is the national character of the people. Mind you, my dear friends, ethics is the part and parcel of your character of the researcher. If the research work is ethically carried out, it will reflect not only you, reflect the society, reflect the country. So this is what I was wanting to share with you. Way forward, ethics cannot be purchased or transferred or marketed. Move towards to ethical excellence. That is what we are learning from Hitoksha's various speakers. Restoration of moral values and national character, duty of each academician and researchers, and to start with self. So if I have to start, I have to start with self, extend it to the institution, community, and the country. With that, these are the references which I have taken. Dr. Subramanian, very learned fellow. He was head of CBC. His book is there with me, Preventing Plagiarism, UGC Rules, Indian Council of Medical Research, Ethics Committee in India, article on institutional ethics, and my 4 decades of working with oil major. Working on very sensitive positions, I could gather what is ethics in a little way. 3 years in vigilance and 3 years in compliance for where I could get insights. Now my experience as an IC member of Shankara Eye Hospital, New Panvel, and all the images, whatever you will find in my presentation are sourced from internet and which are very free to be used. So only those images I have used, trying to be very careful. So with that, I complete. Unless and otherwise, if you have any questions, kindly raise it to me. To best of ability, I'll answer. If I don't have answer, I'll consult the academics from the field and revert back to you. Thank you, sir. Thanks for your time and patience. Profound gratitude to Eudoxia Research University, USA and India.